It's time for some more Xenonauts. Last time, Valkyrie 1 geared up with new weapons and armour and destroyed the enemy in a nice combat test. Charlie 2 was doing some more training missions and was able to annihilate some civilians. Then Valkyrie 1 went out to capture our first carrier, capturing it completely intact. Here's the analysis of the carrier, and it says something about the fact it's supposed to have fighters with it, which I mentioned last time. It doesn't. It also didn't have the fighters in its bay when we captured it, so overall looks like the enemy have forgotten their own air doctrine, which will help us out. Now, we unlocked some new technologies as a result of the stuff we captured in the carrier, and I think this came of all that. Mag weaponry. Now there's another tier of weapons above the plasma stuff. I thought we were just about ready to finish the game, we were at our maximum power, but apparently not. There's another tier, which means the stalling doctrine that we're going on will have to continue for a bit. Back on the geoscape, we see something particularly interesting over here. There's an alien battleship carrying a praetor going on a terror mission. So finally, this is the praetor we're supposed to be capturing. I sent a marauder after it, not bothering to send anything else. I'm not sure if I thought I was trying to destroy this, because we kind of need this ship to remain intact in order to guarantee that the praetor doesn't die when the ship crashes. So I went over and fired some missiles at it with the marauder, doing a few dodges to escape on our way out. And then I didn't send anything else after it. I think I was just looking to spawn the terror mission, because I did have other planes, although originally I remembered it as I didn't have other planes. I don't know what I was doing. Basically, a terror mission happens, so here we go. There could be a praetor among the enemy crew, and we're going to have to capture them, and I suppose we'll save the civilians, although that's low priority. So low priority that I actually wait until the next morning to avoid it being a night battle. Now we're gearing up, ready to go. Loads of our guys have got the new Sentinel armour, so Valkyrie 1's going to be a pretty powerful squad, plus it's got 12 members now, so lots of firepower and versatility. We spawn in the middle of the street, a very bad drop location from the Valkyrie dropship. Since we're surrounded by enemies, as it happens, we just have to go on the offensive to not only get to cover, but to try and stop ourselves just being shot in the first alien turn. Fake Eyes Fritz goes to hit this nearby Caesarian. Doesn't seem to do the job. Usually 1 or 2 stun stick attacks brings these guys down, but not in this case. So I tried moving up I'm a shoot 'em up to do a close range shotgun blast. We get a good blast, but not enough damage to kill, so this guy's still standing here. This is getting awkward now. In the end, I got Barrel Scrape to move up, also with a stun stick, to try and finish this guy off, and 2 more hits finally bring him down. Don't know why this guy's so hard to stun. These Caesarians are usually the easiest to stun enemies. Anyway, so at least that's done, and those guys are in partial cover, or pretty good cover actually, from all of the other enemies that we know about right now. This enemy, who's outflanking our whole squad, is just going to go right down, and trigger down annihilates it at point blank range. She spots another enemy over there that our squad going off to the right will have to be aware of. Now, Ray and Prey goes to the left. There's an alien down the street behind that car. There's another one just around a corner behind that wall. And I'm also aware there's an alien in the alley to Ray and Prey's right that we can't see right now, but I spotted it earlier. So I need to take up a position that's keeping the sandbags between us and Ray and Prey's right. I decided to just fire at one of the aliens. We get a kill, but we also kill a civilian along the way. Not that we especially care about that, because those civilians realistically are going to die in this scenario anyway. Now Hilary Highcal moves up to deal with the alien we saw in the alley. We get a load of damage, but not enough. Suppression, but no kill. And now Hilary Highcal is slightly outflanked by the other alien down by the car. I'm going to move her slightly further away to reduce the chance of that creating any negative consequences. But it wasn't enough by the looks of things. The alien starts firing and does hit Hilary, taking off half of her health. We just saw down to the left what appeared to be a laser rifle, a Xenonauts weapon, being fired at some civilians. Not sure what's going on over there. The alien in the alleyway tries to shoot but fails. Then the alien off here to the right throws what seems to be a new kind of grenade. It hits Barrel Scrape with a yellow explosion, doing well over 100 damage, and he dies instantly, even with the new Sentinel armor equipped. That's very bad news. It seems they've upgraded their explosives, and our armor is now useless, which means cover's going to be quite useless as well, since they can just throw it over things. Not a good situation. Slowscope Joe is set up already to attack this guy, so I thought we might as well go ahead and try this. This is only a good idea if we kill him this turn, so we better. We get 2 hits with the plasma sniper rifle, but it's not good enough. It did loads of damage, but this guy isn't going down. I seem to remember that these red shirt guys aren't all that advanced. There is a red alien, the alien leader, but he's got a hat. These red guys are just variants of the generic blue guys, but for some reason these guys seem really powerful, and I'm starting to wonder if on Terror missions all aliens get buffs just to make the mission harder. Anyway, we do take him down with a shield and shotgun strategy. Now we need to hide because we've seen multiple aliens further up range by the trains. Next up, we're going to attack this alien down by this car. High Cal could potentially do it, but I want to leave her for attacking the alien in the alleyway. So instead I'm going to bring up Ray and Prey. She can move up to the edge of the sandbags. She can't see the alien, but she can just shoot at the car, and that's going to be good enough. On the left there's a human soldier. That must have been the guy who shot the laser rifle at the civilians, so I'm guessing that human soldier was mind controlled for a bit or something, or maybe was trying to shoot the alien and was just really inaccurate. Don't know what happened. Anyway, we did blow up the car, but it didn't kill the alien like I expected. He's actually still alive amidst all those flames there. So yeah, maybe they really are buffed in terms of health, because I would have thought that would do the job in this scenario. Trigger Down moves up to this door to look inside the building, and there's an alien right there. So we're just going to close the door again for safety and wait until the next turn when we've got some more time units to try and attack that guy. As for Hillary High Cal, as I said, we're going to attack the guy in the alleyway. However, we get abysmal luck. None of the shots hit. I'm sure only 1 or 2 needed to hit to get the kill, so that was particularly poor. In this case, we're able to recover because Useless, moving up into the sandbags, could also take a shot. She gets a hit and brings the enemy down. So really, I was just remarking on how poor that luck from High Cal was, and she'll have a bit more poor luck as we go on, actually. A Wraith teleports behind us. Luckily it can't fire right away, so we'll have the chance to blow it away. One alien's advancing towards us on the right. Another one that we could just about see disappears off somewhere, moving towards the left by the looks of things. This Wraith won't be too much trouble because it's really close to Pumpy Parker, so we'll just use our turn to fire at this enemy. The first shot doesn't get a kill, the second one does, so that's that. Now Tina needs to open the door to look for that enemy we saw earlier. It's not there anymore, but we do see another Wraith in this back door. I open fire, doing a bit of damage and getting suppression, but well short of the damage needed for a kill. In this case we can go after it with Big Iron though, who's ready to attack through the other door. He moves in and then it stops because I've spotted a new enemy. I thought, oh, it's that guy over there on the other side of the train tracks. But if I'd really been paying attention, you would have noticed I'd saw 2 new enemies. The other new enemy is actually still in the room with us. Big Iron just can't see it anymore, and that's going to come back to haunt us right now, actually. Hillary High Cal moves up to support Big Iron, and on the way in, she gets shot by something that appeared to be above us. I was like, what? I looked above us, there's nothing there by the looks of things, so I thought I'd just been glitched. But actually, as it turns out, as Barely Functional moves up, he can see from outside the building, somehow, there's actually a guy there, standing on the catwalk, or crouching on the catwalk, and High Cal just somehow couldn't see this enemy as it was shooting her. So now we're in a bit of a dangerous situation. High Cal's here, nearly dead, and Big Iron's in there as well, and an enemy's at point blank range. One grenade could potentially get both of them here. The quote-unquote good news is that instead, that alien actually shoots outside and kills Barely Functional, so we've lost our line of sight on it. A grenade is thrown towards Ray and Prey, I think that is. Luckily it just about misses, and while it destroys some cover, it doesn't do any damage. Here's some bad news though. Big Iron gets mind controlled inside that building, so now everyone else who's in there is in pretty big danger, plus that's our offensive power severely hampered. Weak-willed runs into the building, putting himself in danger because I'm using him as a sacrifice to try and get Hillary High Cal to survive this ordeal. I wanted to put Hillary up these stairs on the catwalk so she could see that other alien and potentially lean around that wall to shoot out the window at other targets. Doesn't work like that though, because apparently the Predator armor can't walk upstairs, so we're stuck down here with Big Iron. Useless can go up there using her jetpack, so that's all well and good. And as we fly over, we see more and more targets outside. She apparently has line of sight on something right now. She absolutely can't see that wraith, just more weird line of sight going on. Then we spot a real adversary. There's a gigantic thing just outside the door. Looks like it's an upgraded form of the drone we saw in a previous Terror mission, the one that was really powerful, and this is just a bigger one. It looks about twice as big, so we're probably in trouble, and that's why Useless just ran for it after seeing that. We can do a bit of combat on our right. Pumpy Parker spots an enemy on the corner of the building there, just outside the corner. We're going to move up Ray and Prey to deal with that guy, while Pumpy Parker is going to jetpack over the fence to help our team over on the right deal with the remaining alien. We can't make an attack this turn, so we'll be vulnerable, but we can hide in decent enough cover with a few objects in front of us. There's a good chance of shots being blocked. Meanwhile, Ray and Prey can unload on that alien in the open, and she gets the kill easily enough before returning to cover herself. Once we're out of moves, it's time to see, in particular, what Big Iron's going to do. He runs into the room here and shoots at Hilary Highcal, who I moved to hide in the corner. She somehow doesn't take any damage. The big drone shot its thing at Hilary Highcal, and again, she just somehow didn't take any damage. It looked like it hit her directly, doing area of effect damage, but it just didn't happen. The alien up on the catwalk moved down and shot weak-willed, and he just about survived on the verge of death. Triggerdown advances up, trying to get a shot onto the big drone. It looks like it's in the room with us, but this is the old graphics cover switching bug thing that we discussed last time we fought a drone. It's both in the room and outside, but it's mainly outside. So when we close the door, it disappears, so it can't see us anymore. Hopefully, anyway. Now we're going to deal with the more traditional combat going on over here. We've got a shield and shotgun tactic. Luckily, the enemy didn't shoot either Fake Eyes Fritz or Pumpy Parker while they were waiting for this opportunity to come about. And there we go. That's the situation on the right, now cleared up. Back inside the building, Weak-Willed is going to continue his role as a suicide soldier. We need to run away, in theory, because he's really damaged and there's an alien in front of him, but I thought, let's just shoot. The alien luckily didn't shoot back. That could have been deadly. We're going to move up Useless instead to try and take this guy out. We can actually move to point-blank range and still have plenty of time units to fire. As it happens though, she manages to miss. How useless of her. So that's really, really annoying. Luckily, we can still use Hilary Highcal to finish the job. The only issue potentially is that Big Iron is still in here and could still shoot us, but from my anecdotal experience, mind control means they only control them for one turn. There's a second turn where the thing just doesn't do anything, the agent doesn't do anything, and then in the third turn you get control of them back. And here we see in the alien turn, the supposedly mind controlled Big Iron doesn't do anything. And then at the start of the next turn he's back. So I think mind control does just last one turn. There's just an after effect where it looks like there's still an enemy for the next turn. Anyway, so he's back in the game, and the first thing he's going to do is walk over here, open the door. No sign of the drone anymore, so that's probably good news. There's an alien standing right there. We can blast him away. So there we go, redeeming himself a little bit. Triggerdown can see an alien using her slightly alternate angle on the door, although as you can see, she actually can't see through this door. Some more fun line of sight. We're going to shoot through the wall at that wraith. We get some damage, suppression, but no kill. Next up, I'm going to put Useless up here again, trying to get her back to this good vantage point. And as she flies up, she can see multiple enemies. There are 5 enemies outside the door. There's one guy just outside the door, standing down by the wall of the building, so he could run into the room next turn. And also we saw the drone. It looks like it's going around to the right side of the building right now. Useless happens to have line of sight, so I thought, well, let's take a shot with our remaining points and try and do some damage. It does do some, so it's not like the last time we fought drones where they just resist physical attacks. Then there I realised we can just do this. Ray and Prey comes around the corner and blows the thing to pieces. Whoops. As you can see, this thing explodes with a gigantic area of effect, and both Ray and Prey and Triggerdown were just inside it on the very edge tile, and they both die, even though they were both wearing Predator armor. So much for it being nuclear explosion proof. That normal explosion did more than enough damage to one-hit kill both of them. Suddenly, we're in an enormous amount of trouble. It doesn't look good for the campaign, with 2 high-quality operatives being killed like that, and for the mission it doesn't look good either. We're running out of guys to try and hunt down this praetor with. And then, in the alien turn, we get hit with the same line-of-sight shenanigan that almost got Big Iron killed back in a previous Terror mission. Enemies can shoot through windows that are adjacent above them, even though you might think that's impossible. And Useless is killed with 4 hits at point-blank range, her armor not helping her out either. So we're running out of team members fast. Half of Valkyrie 1 is dead, and there's still no sign of this praetor that is supposedly here. At least we still have the door, so we can still do door strats with Hilary Haikal, which turns out we actually could use because enemies are right outside the door, so let's get on to that. You might wonder, by the way, why I haven't just fallen back from this mission and retreated, and it was because I still expected to see the praetor naively. You might have noted that since there's a heavy drone on this mission, it's now deviated from what it said there would be in the battleship. It said there would be Cesians, Wraiths, and a praetor, but now we've seen something else, so clearly it's not quite the same setup, although very similar. And indeed, the presence of the drone is going to be a hint that this isn't going to end like I want it to. Still, we do manage to kill the enemies outside the door with a bit of help from our sniper. A shot comes from somewhere and damages Fake Eyes Fritz and Slow Scope Joe. Lucky I just happened to put Fake Eyes in front of Slow Scope Joe with the shield on that very turn. Slow Scope's nearly dead, so we'll start healing up to get that squad back to good health, and then we'll fall back to the right so they're not in line of sight anymore until we find out where that enemy is. We also saw a Wraith teleported behind the building, but that wasn't a problem because Big Iron just goes and deals with it quickly. Now it's just back to door strats. Enemies keep wandering about in the street out there. We've got bad line of sight, so it's hard to kill them, but I'm taking my time now. We're just hiding in the building as best we can and shooting at targets that come into vision. The duo of Hilary Haikal and Slow Scope Joe pick us up another kill there. Things are starting to look better as the street is cleared out, but there's another enemy we can't see who's now firing on us, and it gets some damage onto Weak-Willed, who wasn't in proper cover. I was setting him up to try and get some offensive potential. He's basically dead. He's now alive with like 2 health. There's the enemy, it's hiding in those sandbags up there, and there's Weak-Willed on the verge of death. I can just about get him to some better cover where he can start healing himself up. Luckily he's not bleeding out, otherwise he probably would have died that turn. Pumpy Parker jetpacks over here to investigate this new alien, and on the way we see more contacts in the building off to our left. So that explains where the shot that came out explosively earlier was from. There are guys in these windows. There are 2 by the looks of things, or from what Pumpy Parker can see right now. I'm putting him in a dangerous position, ready to attack the alien by the sandbags next turn. The hope was that there's enough detritus that he'll be unlikely to be hit, even by the alien that's close by. One of the Cesians tries to outflank him and misses. They are actually called Cesians, by the way. I call them Caesarians sometimes, and Scythians, or guys. I think Cesians is what their name actually was, I can barely remember. Doesn't matter. Those aliens, generic aliens. So no damage was done. Weak-Willed started fleeing, and fair play to him, he is having a very bad day. And then Pumpy Parker gets the kill as I had hoped here. I'm going to shuffle him about a little bit because I'm very suspicious of diagonal cover in the game at this point. Being near something that's diagonally covering you from an enemy usually counts as not being in cover at all for all intents and purposes, so it can't be trusted in the same way that it can be in XCOM, where your guys kind of press up against things and can use diagonal cover. Anyway, so we just continue firing from our building now, and we take out the guy that ran out of the building earlier, the building across the road that is. So there we have it. Now the coast is a bit more clear. We start advancing up. We need to get into that building and try to find the enemies inside. One of them apparently has run out. We can still see one of them on the 2nd floor. Another one was running across over to this other building in which Pumpy Parker was currently hiding. We open the door and see there he is. Thought maybe we can do some more door strats here, but he's pretty far away and Pumpy Parker would be in the line of sight. So I decided to move Parker around the corner to set up for some reaction fire. I at first set up on the corner, but thought he'll just shoot me if I'm on the corner, he'll shoot me somehow. Instead I set up by this window, thinking he might run into the building and then Pumpy Parker will kill him as he goes through the door. This is an extremely risky strategy, and I sort of knew it, but also I was sort of in a mad blood rage after losing all of my squad, so I didn't mind taking risks in order to hit the enemy hard. Hilary Heikel does get a bit of damage onto that enemy in the end, so that's a good start. But then it does this. This is kind of what I knew would happen. We've seen that happen before. They can shoot a bit through walls when there's an open door and windows. They technically give a 45% chance to block shots, but I think it's subtracted from a number that's above 100%, so if the aliens have 200% accuracy and you're in 50% cover, they will just hit you, which appears to be what's happening here. Cover hasn't been blocking shots very well in this mission. I'm guessing the enemies are buffed, as I mentioned, to have very high accuracy alongside their high health. We kill the enemy in the next turn, so that's something, but yes, Pumpy Parker is gone. Then the red guy on the second floor of that building on the left shoots at Fake Eye's Fritz, actually hitting him, and although it hit him on the flank, I think it's somehow counted as hitting his shield. The shield's a bit RNG-y, it just depends what angle you get shot from, what the probability of it counting of hitting the shield is, so it's not necessarily just protecting you from the front. So I moved a few guys over, ready to assault this building, hiding downstairs outside of the line of sight, because we know the window line of sight thing that killed Useless doesn't work the other way around. You can't shoot down through a window that's adjacent to you, even though the exact opposite is what you'd imagine to be the case. Rant, rant, rant. Now, I'm a shoot 'em up berserked during her turn and actually shot at Fake Eye's Fritz. No damage was done, but he was suppressed, meaning he couldn't join Big Iron assaulting the building. I wanted to assault right now because at any time the alien inside could drop a grenade out the window and we'd all be dead. Luckily, Big Iron is able to kill the enemy in one hit, so the building is secure, but the mission is not over yet. There are 2 more enemies left alive. One of them is a drone on the street to the left of the building who we quickly discover, thanks to the fact we now have complete line of sight. This is the thing where after 20 turns you can see everything. And this drone is much less troublesome than the first one. It just sat there, I guess we were out of its aggro range, it didn't attack, and after a few turns of shooting at it, it blew up and that was the end of that. Nothing too interesting. The final enemy is hovering weirdly in a flawless bathroom over in that building on the left. We move a team in and I have a few guys now outside the door ready to assault the apartment. However, the alien does a suicide attack. It runs out of the door, throws a grenade at its own feet. It blows up, killing Fake-Eyed Fritz, damaging Big Iron and the alien. The alien itself is killed by Big Iron's reaction fire, and that is going to bring it close to the mission. Once all of these civilians have finished dancing around, it still does the civilians as part of the alien turn. So, we win. Or did we? We won the mission, but we lost 7 of our 12 members, many of them elite members, such as Ray and Prey, who are literally irreplaceable. Valkyrie 1 has been just torn apart. They're unable to go on missions anymore for all intents and purposes, and since this recently happened to Charlie 2 as well, we're just running out of everything. There is one last chance, which is that we take the best people still alive in Charlie 2, put them into Valkyrie 1, fill out the rest of the spaces with whatever we can, and then that will be it. That will be our final squad, our final chance to stop the aliens. No praetor this time, and indeed it is the case that if there had been a praetor, it would have told me at the start of the mission. I was just being very hopeful, trying to look for it here. And we are actually going to see the praetor, which is how I know this, probably in the next part.